Hello everyone, welcome to Jumperman Tech, and today I'm going to be installing the BOSS CAM22 mini rearview camera, and the methods used in this video as far as wiring can be used for just about any rearview camera setup. Alright, so my camera came with my radio. I'm using the BOSS BVB9364RC, and when we open up the box, we're going to have a bunch of cables, bunch of wires. We also have our camera, and installed is the flush mount right here. This camera can be installed two ways. You could either use the flush mount, or you could use a hanging mount, which is right here, which is provided. It also comes with a hole saw if you're going to go with the flush mount, which is pretty cool. Just attach it to your drill. And we also have a set of instructions. So let's go over the wiring, starting with the camera. Here's our camera right here. We have one wire, and then we can see that it separates into two. So we have two outputs. One red, one yellow. If we look closely, the one labeled as yellow is your video out, and the one labeled as red is your DC 12 volts. So supplied with the kit were these two male RCA cables. And from each cable we had this wire sticking out of it. What we're gonna do is just cut off this wire and tape it off, and we're not gonna be using that anymore. So we're gonna take one side of the RCA and connect it to the video out on the camera, and the opposite end of this cable is gonna go into your radio. So here's the back of my radio. So the camera is connected to one side of this RCA, and the opposite end, you can see this one is clearly labeled as camera, is going to be connected right there into the radio. So next, supply with a kit, we're going to have a male RC output, and this is going to go connect with the red, which is our 12 volts DC coming from our camera. These two get connected right here, and now all that's left is these two wires. These two wires is your incoming power for the camera. So the way this is supposed to be wired is that when you put your car in reverse, the camera will be energized. And the way we do that is that we're gonna run these wires back to the reverse lights, and once you put your car in reverse and those lights are energized, you'll energize these two wires and therefore energize your camera, and that's how we're going to get power for this setup. So here's a wholesale supply with the kit. I tried drilling on my bumper and this thing just completely flattened out, just complete trash. So I went ahead and I'm going to use my own step down bit on my drill. So I marked the location where I want my camera mounted on my bumper, since I didn't want to cut into my door, and I cut my hole. So here's our camera. Unscrew this side. We have threads on the camera. This piece right here we can shove right into the hole. This metal piece right here is what holds it in place. So you can push that right in and at the same time screw in the camera. And there you have it. Our camera is now mounted. So here's a back view of what this looks like. So this is my little setup here. This is my camera on the left. Follow along. Actually installed a handy box in the back of my bumper. So I made my connections there for the video output in my 12 volts. Then I ran that along, and up there it sneaks up, and if we go around, I took out my rear light right here. Alright, so I ran my wires up. Here you can see this is the video connection, and next these two wires, there's a 12 volts DC. I did have to make an extension here, so I use these heat shrinks And I started my connections. Next is to power up and get our 12 volts. So once you determine which light is your reverse light, what you're gonna do is simply splice into these wires here. So this is my reverse light. I have 2 wires, 1, 2. And you're simply gonna connect one wire to one and the other to the other. I'm going to show you how that's done. And you're going to want to connect your positive to positive and negative to negative. So the red wire, which is my positive, is going to the 12 volts, and my black wire is going to the ground. And lastly, we have a RCA going into the back of the radio, right into the camera input. Alright, so my engine is running. I'm going to shift the car into reverse. Just shift it into reverse. There's our camera. If anybody found this video helpful, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time.